It's the moment we all work for. The annual performance review, the negotiation with the boss, the email from HR confirming your new salary. You got the pay rise, you feel valued, you feel successful, and you start mentally spending that extra money. A nicer holiday, a bigger deposit for a house, or just a little more breathing room in the monthly budget. But as the months go by, you look at your bank account and a confusing, frustrating feeling starts to creep in. Despite the extra money on your payslip, you don't feel any richer. In fact, you feel like you're treading water, or even going backwards. The cost of everything seems to be rising faster than your income, and you're left wondering, where did my pay rise go? Why do I feel poorer than I did before? This isn't just a feeling. For millions of middle-income Australians, this is a cold, hard reality. I see the confusion and frustration in the eyes of my clients every single day. They've done everything right. They've worked hard. They've been rewarded with a pay rise, but their financial position has not improved. In many cases, it has actually gotten worse. They are victims of a cruel financial paradox, a double whammy of economic forces that are silently conspiring to steal their hard-earned gains. This is the story of how your pay rise, the very symbol of your success, can actually make you poorer. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is a mathematical certainty, a consequence of a broken system that punishes hard work and rewards government inaction. The two culprits are inflation and a particularly insidious form of taxation known as bracket creep. Together, they form a pincer movement that erodes your purchasing power and increases your tax burden, leaving you with less real money in your pocket than you had before your pay rise. The government knows this is happening. The tax office benefits from it every single year. But they are not going to tell you about it. They are not going to explain how the system is rigged against you. But I am. In this video, I am going to pull back the curtain and show you the shocking truth about your pay rise. I'm going to break down the numbers and prove to you, in black and white, how a 3.5% pay rise can leave you with a net loss in real-world wealth. I'm going to explain the mechanics of bracket creep and show you how this stealth tax is costing you thousands of dollars every year. And most importantly, I'm going to give you the strategies you need to fight back. I'm going to show you how to protect your income, how to minimize your tax, and how to ensure that your hard work translates into real, tangible wealth for you and your family, not just extra revenue for the government. Let's dive into the mechanics of this financial trap. There are two thieves at work here, and they operate in tandem. The first is obvious. You feel it every time you go to the supermarket or fill up your car. It's inflation. The second is more subtle, a silent pickpocket that goes by the name of bracket creep. First, let's talk about inflation versus your pay rise. For your pay rise to make you richer, it needs to be higher than the rate of inflation. If your income goes up by 4%, but the cost of living goes up by 5%, you are going backwards. Your real wage, your purchasing power, has declined. This is exactly what has been happening in Australia. The latest data from the Australian Bureau of Statistics for the year to September 2025 shows that wages grew by an average of 3.4%. Other industry surveys are projecting salary increases of around 3.5% for 2026. Now compare that to the official inflation rate, which was 3.8% for the year to December 2025. Your pay rise is not even keeping up with the rising cost of living. Before you even pay a single dollar in tax, your pay rise has already been wiped out by inflation. You are already poorer.
But it gets so much worse. Because now the second thief, bracket creep, comes along to steal what little is left of your hard-earned raise. Bracket creep is a stealth tax, and it's one of the most dishonest ways the government raises revenue. It works because our tax brackets in Australia are not indexed to inflation. They are fixed in dollar terms. As your wages increase with inflation, you are pushed into higher and higher tax brackets, and you pay a progressively larger proportion of your income in tax. The government doesn't have to announce a tax increase. They just have to do nothing. They just have to sit back and let inflation do the dirty work for them, silently dragging more and more of your income into higher tax brackets. Let's look at a concrete example. Let's call him David. David is a senior project manager earning $130,000 a year. He's a high-income earner, but he's also in that squeezed middle, with a mortgage, school fees, and all the other costs of living in a major Australian city. He works hard, and at his annual review, he gets a 3.5% pay rise. That's an extra $4,550 a year. His new salary is $134,550. He's happy with that. It feels like a decent reward for his efforts.
But David has just walked straight into the bracket creep trap. At his old salary of $130,000, he was comfortably in the 30% tax bracket plus the 2% Medicare levy. But the next tax bracket, the 37% bracket, kicks in at $135,001. His pay rise has pushed him right to the edge of that higher bracket. Now, let's be clear. He doesn't pay 37% on his entire income. He only pays it on the portion of his income that falls into that bracket. But the effect is still significant. His average tax rate, the total tax he pays as a proportion of his total income, has increased. He is paying a higher percentage of his income to the tax man. Let's do the numbers. On his old salary of $130,000, David's tax bill, including the Medicare levy, was $33,188. His after-tax income was $96,812. On his new salary of $134,550, his tax bill is $34,834. His after-tax income is $99,716. So his after-tax income has increased by $2,904. That's a long way from the $4,550 pay rise he thought he was getting. Bracket creep has already eaten over a third of his raise. But we're still not at the end of the story. We still have to account for inflation. With inflation running at 3.8%, the purchasing power of David's original after-tax income of $96,812 has declined. To have the same purchasing power as he did last year, his after-tax income would need to have increased by 3.8%, or $3,679. But his after-tax income only increased by $2,904. He has a shortfall of $775. His pay rise, the one that was meant to make him feel valued and successful, has actually made him $775 poorer in real terms. He is working just as hard, he is earning a higher salary, but he can afford less than he could a year ago. This is the brutal reality of the pay rise paradox. This is not a hypothetical scenario. This is happening to millions of Australians right now. Anyone whose income is close to a tax bracket threshold is at risk. And with the average full-time wage in Australia now over $100,000, more and more people are being pushed towards that 37% tax bracket. It's a stealthy and relentless process that is undermining the financial security of Middle Australia. Let quote. So consider another common scenario. Meet Jessica, a primary school teacher who has been working for a decade. She earns $85,000 a year. She's not a high-income earner by any stretch, but she's a dedicated professional who is passionate about her job. After a new enterprise bargaining agreement is reached, she receives a 4% pay rise, which is above the average. That's an extra $3,400 a year, bringing her salary to $88,400. She's thrilled. That extra money will make a real difference to her family. But let's look at the numbers. On her old salary of $85,000, her tax bill, including the Medicare levy, was $18,488, leaving her with an after-tax income of $66,512. On her new salary of $88,400, her tax bill is $19,576, and her after-tax income is $68,824. Her after-tax income has increased by $2,312. Bracket creep has taken $1,088 of her $3,400 raise. That's nearly a third of it gone before she even sees it. Now, let's factor in inflation. With inflation at 3.8%, the purchasing power of her original after-tax income of $66,512 has declined. To maintain her standard of living, her after-tax income would need to have increased by $2,527, but it only increased by $2,312. She is $215 poorer in real terms. Her 4% pay rise, which was meant to be a reward for her hard work and dedication, has been completely wiped out by the combined forces of inflation and bracket creep. This is the demoralizing reality for so many of our essential workers, the people we rely on every day. They are being punished for their own success. It breeds a sense of futility. Why work harder? Why strive for a promotion if the system is just going to take it all away? It's a question that I hear more and more, and it's a dangerous one for our economy and our society. When people lose faith in the idea that hard work leads to prosperity, they become disengaged. They lose motivation. And the engine of our economy, the aspiration and ambition of ordinary Australians, begins to stall. This is not just an economic problem. It's a social one. It creates a society where people feel like they are on a treadmill, running faster and faster just to stay in the same place. It erodes the social contract, the implicit agreement that if you work hard and play by the rules, you will be rewarded. When that contract is broken, the consequences can be profound. What can you do? How can you fight back against this two-pronged attack on your wealth? The first step is to understand what's happening. The second step is to take action. You need to be proactive and strategic in how you manage your income and your investments. You can't just rely on your employer to give you a pay rise that will keep you ahead of the game. You have to create your own pay rise. You have to build your own wealth. Here are the strategies that we use with our clients to help them break free from the pay rise paradox. First, and most importantly, you need to reduce your taxable income. The less income the ATO can see, a smaller portion of your pay rise will be lost to higher tax brackets. The most powerful and straightforward tool for achieving this is salary sacrificing into your superannuation. This involves arranging with your employer to have a portion of your pre-tax salary paid directly into your super account. For example, if you are David from our earlier example, earning $134,550, you could choose to salary sacrifice $5,000 into your super. This would reduce your taxable income to $129,550, pulling you back down into the 30% tax bracket. The $5,000 that goes into your super is taxed at only 15%, a massive saving compared to the 37% you would have paid on that income. It's a simple and incredibly effective way to fight back against bracket creep, and you are simultaneously boosting your retirement savings. It's a win-win. Second, you need to invest in assets that can generate returns that outpace both tax and inflation. As we've established, cash in a savings account is a losing game. You need to own growth assets. This means becoming a part owner of businesses through the share market or owning a piece of the built environment through property. These assets have an intrinsic ability to grow in value over time, and they often provide an income stream in the form of dividends or rent that can also grow. Furthermore, investing in these assets can be done in a tax-effective way. For example, if you hold an investment for more than 12 months, you are entitled to a 50% discount on any capital gains tax you have to pay when you sell. This is a significant advantage over the interest you earn on a savings account, which is taxed at your full marginal rate. For those with more complex financial affairs, a family trust can be a powerful structure for holding investments, allowing you to distribute the income to family members on lower tax rates, further reducing your overall tax bill. Third, you need to be smart about how you structure your finances. If you are a couple, you can use strategies like income splitting to ensure that you are both making the most of the lower tax brackets. For example, if one partner is on a high income and the other is on a low income, you can structure your investments so that the income is distributed to the lower income partner, who will pay tax at a lower marginal rate. This can result in a significant tax saving for the family as a whole. You can also look at investment strategies that generate capital growth rather than income. For example, instead of investing in a high dividend-paying stock, you might choose to invest in a growth stock that reinvests its profits back into the business. This can lead to a higher capital gain when you eventually sell the shares, and as we've already discussed, capital gains are taxed at a lower rate than income. It's all about understanding the rules of the game and using them to your advantage. Finally, you need to get the right advice. The Australian tax system is a minefield, and it's constantly changing. The strategies we've discussed today are just the tip of the iceberg. There are many other tools and techniques that can be used to legally and ethically reduce your tax and build your wealth. But the right strategy for you will depend on your individual circumstances, your income, your goals, and your risk tolerance. That's why it's so important to get personalized advice from a qualified professional. A good financial advisor can help you to understand your position, to identify the risks and opportunities, and to develop a comprehensive plan to help you achieve your financial goals. They can help you to turn the pay rise paradox into a wealth creation opportunity. They can be your partner in building a more secure and prosperous future. This is not about being greedy. This is about being smart. It's about ensuring that your hard work is rewarded. It's about building a secure financial future for yourself and your family. And it's about taking back control from a system that is designed to keep you on the treadmill. The pay rise paradox is real, and it's costing you dearly. But it doesn't have to be this way. You can fight back. You can win. And you can start today. The government is not going to solve this problem for you. They benefit from the status quo. The banks are not going to solve this problem for you. They profit from your financial inertia. The only person who can solve this problem is you. You have the power to change your financial destiny. You have the power to take control, and it starts with the decision to become an investor, not just a saver. It starts with the decision to educate yourself, to get the right advice, and to take action. The journey to financial freedom is a marathon, not a sprint. but it's a journey that is well worth taking, and it's a journey that you can start today. If you're tired of feeling like you're going backwards, if you're ready to take control of your financial future, then I invite you to book a confidential consultation with us. There's a link in the description. We can help you to understand your situation, to develop a plan, and to take the first steps on the path to financial freedom. And if you found this information valuable, please subscribe to our channel for more insights into protecting your wealth. And please, share this video with anyone you know who is celebrating a pay rise. You could be saving them from a world of financial disappointment.